Hi everybody, my name is Julie Mann. I am a professional network marketer. I'm an actor and I'm also an EFT practitioner. And today I'm talking to the lovely Magdalena Warych. I think that's how you pronounce it, isn't it, Magdalena?
Yes, it's perfect.
Phew. So Magdalena lives in Poland. She lives in Warsaw right now. So what I'm really curious about, before we go into talking about what it is that you actually do and the way that you work, is to hear a little bit about what it was like growing up in Poland. You weren't born in Warsaw, were you?
Yes, I was actually born in Łódź, which is also a big city, but I've been living here for 20 years. I mean, in Warsaw. And I think growing up in Poland was a challenge for a child, yes, because we had this kind of special shops called Pevex. Yes, it was the shops with the articles from abroad, which were colorful and, awesome. Yes, and when you entered the shops, you felt like in the fairy tale land, Alice in Wonderland. But when you enter some other shops, and generally all the environment was kind of grayish, yeah. So probably I still compensate for this because now I'm a kind of aesthetic person and I love beautiful things, beauty in general, yes. So now I keep buying a lot of notebooks, but I don't mean like laptops, but notebooks you are doing journaling, yes, and very beautiful covers and all this stuff that I couldn't enjoy when I was like a teenager, yes.
Yeah. So what was it like moving from your roots then to Warsaw?
I probably did. Well, it wasn't like a big deal actually, because the distance is not so huge. It's like 140 kilometers, yes. But of course, I felt like being 27, I wanted to start my new life, yes. And I wanted to enter this maturity stage, so to say, yeah. And, before I lived with my parents, I'm the only daughter, yes. So, of course, this umbrella at one moment started to be like a kind of collar. So I wanted to a little bit free myself from the parental chains. Well, I do love my parents. They are awesome and great, and I love them very much. But there is the time that the child should take a decision and to spread the wings and just fly away.
Absolutely. We all want to do that, don't we? So, you obviously are now a transformational coach. Would you say that, in your childhood, you were around people that were transformational?
Excuse me, did I, what?
In your childhood, were you around people that were transformational?
Well, probably I came across some people that impacted me, yes, but I don't think that my journey with self-development started like about 20 something years ago. So I was not a child anymore. Yes, I think that in being a child, truth to tell, I don't remember thinking about self-growth or this kind of things. It was more like fun, and or also this was a time of a little bit self-discovery, but probably my growth started because I didn't like what I was discovering about myself. And one day I just pissed off and I said, okay, but I was like 20ish, yeah? I was like 20ish. I said that, okay, you have a choice, yeah? Either you start living differently, yes? And you just, pull up your sleeves and do something about your life. Or you will be dissatisfied and complaining and yawning, yeah, because I had a lot of complexes with my figure, with my look, with my personality and character features. Yeah, I really wasn't self-confident. Yeah, even I was a grind at school. I had all the best notes at studies, I must have been I had to be a very boring person, I think, yeah. So predictable. Oh my gosh, such an Eve type, not a Lilith. I'm now more, I tend to more to be like a Lilith. And maybe also that's why then I changed my name even. Yes, it is another story. But then when I started to work with myself and when I have transformed these convictions, of course, I'm still on this journey. Yeah? I think this journey is never ending, yeah, because it's like layer by layer, layer by layer. And always you find something that, well, this is another challenge here with your convictions. Yeah? So I know I will die, all the time doing this job. But I think there was a point that I've changed so much that I even changed my name, because my name was Agnes Eve. I actually had two names, yeah. And then I switched completely to a different name because I felt this is my new version, yes. This more mature, this more self-aware, this more self-confident. It's not Agnes Eve, not.
So how did people around you react to your new change of name, Magdalena?
Oh, this is an interesting story because this name came to me like when I was 20. I said it came from universe, yeah? It just appeared, yes? And I thought, it's kind of like my name. It sounds my name. Maybe it's from some other past lives, yeah? I had some connection. And of course, there was a time when I was 30 when I started to use it. Some people, like newcomers, knew this name. I said, I'm Agnes, but actually called me Magdalena, yes. And they knew that formally I had different name, but I used different. The old people, let's say, inverted commas, they knew that I'm kind of, they don't know what, but they called me Agnes. My parents called me Agnes, and everything was done in the background, like in the theater. It was in the background. So we didn't know anything. And then I started to tell them that, well, probably I'm gonna change my name, not a surname, by getting married, but name, yes. And they were kind of surprised. Actually, they first treated it as a kind of joke, yeah. You must be joking, yeah. But then we realized that I'm not joking, because there is some special procedure that you have to go through. It's not like that, yes. But yeah, I did it. I was a little bit, maybe not afraid of their reaction, but I didn't want to hurt them, because they gave me these names. But it was interesting. My father, I'm the daddy's daughter, yeah, he said, well, I will never accept this name. My mother, she kind of accepted a bit and not, and she was calling me not Magdalena, but Magda, which is a shorter version. But I said, okay, I turned a blind eye, yeah. And she was using two. But my father, I changed this name formally like about 5-6 years ago. But I've been using a bit longer this name with the people around, yeah. But the old people still called me at the time the other name. But finally, when I changed in papers, yeah, the old guys also had to get used to it. They had no other option now. Everybody calls me Magdalena. And even these people who have known me for several years, they said, no, this Agnes is like completely not your name, yes?
Wow.
Story. It's like a little bit different identity, but maybe it was my next version, yeah? But I think I will die with this name.
So you mentioned that you weren't very confident as a young girl, and also that you weren't very happy with your looks and your body. So did actually becoming Magdalena make any difference to your confidence? And how did you overcome some of those things that you were dealing with when you were younger? How did you transform that?
I think that it was a long and not a painful process, maybe painful when you think about how long it took, yeah, because I'm impatient. My nature is, yeah, God give me patience, but give it to me now, yes, this is me. So I want everything is like for yesterday, and I'm pretty fast doing all the things. So a couple of good years was far too long, yes. And truth to tell, I cannot tell you which was this breakthrough moments, because I don't remember these breakthrough moments. Yeah, it was rather going in the gradual way. Yes, and I was changing like from this ugly duckling. Of course, I have my inner critic still quite, talking still now a lot. But I say, oh, gremlin, go to Siberia, yeah? now I've learned how to, or I said, okay, honey, I know I'm safe. I am, yeah. And I know that always our inner critic, this is our comfort zone, yes. And this inner critic wants to protect you, yes. But I know that if you don't take actions, inspired actions, courageous actions, and you don't pursue your goals, your dreams, you will be sitting in this comfort zone, and this comfort zone is actually, at the end of the day, you finish bored and frustrated. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think, you know, you've got to as well, or when we don't love that part of us, and kind of if we're not playful with it and kind to that part of us that isn't kind to us sometimes, life doesn't work so well. So, you know, we've got to work with it, really, haven't we? Because actually most of the time it's trying to run the show. So I know that you've had your company Elixir Coaching for 3 years, I believe. So what had you, obviously you've done coaching, you've had lots of transformation in your life, and like you say, it's ongoing because it's never a done deal, is it? It's like a lifelong process. What had you make the decision to become a transformational coach and mentor?
No, probably this was my own story, yes, because it took me really many years. Of course, when I think I love learning, yes, and I'm still participating in some courses, and I have my mentors, my coaches still, yes, and I think, again, this is a never-ending story, because when you grow, yes, in all your journey, well, the appetite comes from eating. So you want more and more, yes. And this is a nice journey. It's a great journey of your soul, yes. But I think that when I think about these beginnings, they were, of course, it was different times. Now I think people have much bigger access. You just open your computer and you have a lot, and you have access to everywhere, yes, actually to all over the world, yeah. And this 20 or even 10 years ago, things like coaching, things like self-development were not so popular, yes. So I was like, you know, a little bit like in a maze, yeah. I was trying different things, I was trying different people, to take help from different people, but you know, some of these things were like mistakes, some of these things took me longer than I planned, yeah. And generally this process was quite long, yes. So now I thought, okay, if it took me this 10 years or longer, and I know where I was, and I know where I am now, and of course I'm still developing, but I thought maybe I could help somebody to take a couple of months or a couple of weeks, okay, maybe rather more months than weeks, because I don't believe in, you know, magic wand, yes. I believe in miracles, however, because I believe in law of attraction, manifestation, and it is already happening in my life too, yes. So I believe in miracles, but I think on the other hand, and the transformation is something that needs to be grounded, yes. And of course, when you work with client, you can do something very quickly within 2 or 3 months, but sometimes it is enough, but very often it is not, yes, because this person hasn't incorporated this, you know what I mean. It is not in the veins, it doesn't run in blood, yes. So I think that this process, and also I was participating in some longer processes, yes. So I know that it's good to have this coach, this helping hand, this angel, whatever, or this whip, yes, when you are using motivation and when you are losing your strength, and fuck, I don't want to do this anymore, yes. And so you have this person who is saying, I believe in you, yes you can, this Barack Obama.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. I really do. So I know that you work specifically with women, don't you? And you work with women in business. So what are the kind of issues that the women you work with have? You know, what is it that they're looking to transform, Magdalena?
If I were to put it in the nutshell, they want to find themselves in this crazy world.
What do do they come to you actually saying that? Or do they, but that, I mean, that's what ultimately they're looking for, but actually they don't phrase it perhaps in those words. What do they actually say to you when they come?
No, you know, either they tell me that they don't have the purpose, the life purpose, they don't know what their passion is. Sometimes when they work longer in corporations, they completely forget what they like. it seems trivial, yeah, but they are so involved in the job. They are so involved in these crazy things, yeah, but they completely forgot what their passions were. And also they feel that they don't match to this box. They don't match this box anymore, yes. That this masks that the people are wearing, you know, that they had to sometimes pretend, yeah, because probably the corporation is not the best place when you show your creativity and all your ideas and your authenticity, and you just say directly what you think about other people or the situation. Yes, you kind of need to play, yes, and usually they are tired of this pretending or just, you know, playing to or pursuing the goals that are not theirs, yeah. Or especially this is also connected with values. Sometimes they take part in projects that are not in alignment with their own values, and this is, I think, the biggest problem, yeah. Because if it's completely like one person, she's working in the mail industry completely, and they will taking part in some, I don't know exactly did, but building some farms with animals, you know, something like that, and she's actually pro animals, you know, this kind of things, yeah. So you are completely against, and this is difficult to work in projects that are completely against your values. Sometimes, of course, people don't think about their values, don't think about this core, yeah? But when you start and you become more and more aware, you start to feel really disconnected, yeah. And
Yeah.
this is this feeling of being torn, yes. And I think that this is problem because corporation also is like a beautiful umbrella, it's like a beautiful golden cage. Corporation gives a lot of good things to people as well, like good benefits, yeah. And then you have this safety, you have this standard of life. So sometimes it is very difficult also to say, okay, I don't want to be here, but this is mostly the only thing I know. So what I can do if I want to do something else, or how to discover what I want to do. So these are these kind of questions, yeah. How can I arrange myself in this corporation, yeah? Or if not, if I'm really sick and tired of this, what can I do next, yeah? And some of them are 40 and they think it's already too late for something like start from scratch, yeah. And I of course tell them now the average the average age of women is probably 90, something like that, 80 something, 90, and probably taking like 30-40 years ahead, probably we can almost live like tortoises, yeah. I don't mean 200, it would be scary for me too, but I believe that 100 is something that when we are going to be much older, we can hit with no problems, yeah. So on one hand, it opens so many possibilities. I said, if you are 40, you have about 50 years ahead. And they're like, oh my gosh. On one hand, it's so, wow, so many possibilities. But on the other, it's like, scary, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting what you're saying about values, because I think that, you know, when we don't do something that's in line with our values, then actually not only does it really knock our self-esteem, but it feels like we've sold our soul, really. And there's no joy there. And I think a life without joy is a poor life indeed. So the women that you work with, are they just in Poland, Magdalena, or are you working globally with people? And are you mostly on Zoom, or how do you work?
Mm-hmm. I started working with women abroad quite recently, yes, because I've been working only with women from Poland so far. But of course, I was tempted for like last 2 years to go global. But of course, my inner critic was saying something. Probably you are not ready yet, or maybe you should learn something more. I know I will be learning until I die, and I love this, yeah. But I said a moment, it was probably during this summer, yes, that I felt I'm ready. I'm ready to go global, yes. And maybe one of the reasons for this decision is, okay, I will say it loud. I'm not very how to put it into good words. I don't have very Polish mentality. Oh, this is, I think, the best. Yeah.
I'm really curious to know more about what that means when you say that I don't have a Polish mentality. What does that actually mean?
Oh, now if my
I'm
friends will be listening. Okay, I will tell what is the typical Polish mentality. Typical, yeah.
Yes, generally.
Okay, people, when you are listening, there are different people than this I'm gonna describe now.
Of course.
But the mainstream, yes, the mainstream is like we are as Polish people not very tolerant. We are quite narrow-minded. We are extremely judgmental, yes, and we like everything like the same, yeah. We don't appreciate unicorns. We are like the typical school, yes, from the 60s and 70s, something like that. Of course, there are people, oh God, thanks God, that are developing, and you know, they have different completely mentality. But these are the people usually who are well traveled and they have this open-minded approach, yes. And I think I am also like that, yes. And so I was thinking that sometimes I really feel very good with people from abroad. And okay, I don't want to say that the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence, yes. And I really have a lot of great people around me, Polish people around me. But I was thinking now, maybe also it was because of COVID, yes, a little bit, that we were locked down, we had this lockdown. And I had a little bit more time to think, and I said, oh my gosh, now we have so many opportunities here to connect with all the world. And truth to tell, the last couple of weeks, I even told my parents, yeah, that I don't feel like I live in Poland, yeah. And I start to talk to my Polish acquaintances in English, you know. So this was so funny because my friend yesterday, she told me, but why you are talking to me in English? I started to talk to her in English, yeah. Imagine this. Oh yeah, I should switch to my native tongue.
Your English is quite extraordinary. How come your English is so very good, Magdalena?
You know, it was my first passion. Yeah, when I'm passionate about something, and actually this is interesting because I have never learned English at school. Yes, because I'm so old that Russian was the first language that we had to learn. Of course, now I have different approach, yeah, but all this methodology was so boring, yeah, learning by heart, this, you know, these readings, yeah, about what is in Kiev or something completely not communicative, yeah. So I had Russian and I had something else, and probably I chose German for I don't know what reason, yeah. But anyway, I didn't have English at school, and I started learning like 15 when I was 15, yeah, but it was always private lessons, private courses, and then more and more and more. Yeah, and then I studied English, and then I was an English teacher for many years. But then I thought, yes, now I want to combine these two passions, yeah, like empowering people, empowering women, and English. And I thought, wow, it will be like killing two birds with one stone. Yes, two orgasms, multi-orgasm at the same time. So I decided to go for it just like that.
Fabulous, fabulous. So if there are any women watching, Magdalena, and they're feeling a little bit stuck and they're not really, they just feel unfulfilled in what they're doing, is there any advice or anything that you would say to someone watching who might be experiencing that? Something perhaps simple that perhaps they could do, or what would you say?
First, I would say, of course, it might sound trivial, but we completely forget that all the answers are within, because we are like this on the treadmill, this hamster running, yeah. And I believe that the world is so crazy that we have goals and after goal, yeah. But I think that first, like to stop and take a little bit time for yourself, yes. And I think that as crazy as it may sound, for if you've never done it yet, but just put the hand on your heart, close your eyes, and ask yourself, what do I want? What do I need? And whatever you call it, if you call it your soul, or if you call it your heart, or if you call it your intuition, your inner guidance, your inner voice, you will for sure hear something, you will see something, and it will come for sure. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you have done it before, if you haven't done it, you don't need 5 years experience nor PhD. Yes, everybody could just sit in the quiet place and listen to this what appears. Yeah,
Brilliant. And actually, I guess that's the thing, that most people just don't stop. They just don't take the time to be still. So that's really great. Thank you.
I have problem with that too.
Snap. No, I am actually learning more and more and more to do that for myself. So I know that it works. So how might people find out more about you, Magdalena?
How to find me, or what do you mean?
How do they find, if they want to find out more about who you are, how they might work with you, you know, how would they do that?
Well, probably the best is to visit my page on Facebook, yes, or on LinkedIn, because I have my website in Polish, but actually because of this constant transformation, this is not extremely updated, and of course it is in Polish, and website is not the channel that I'm now focusing on. Yes, so the LinkedIn or the Facebook is, I think, the best. I'm also on Instagram, but probably Facebook and LinkedIn are the best channels to find me.
So that's just your name on Facebook, or is it Elite Coaching?
Yeah, actually, I have also
not Elite, I mean Elixir.
No, just Magdalena Warych, yes, because of course Elixir is the company name, but it's much easier to find me by my name and surname.
Okay, so finally, what would you really like to be remembered for?
Yeah, this is like this exercise I give to my clients.
What's it?
Yeah, exactly, because I feel like if you imagine your tombstone, yeah, what would you like this tombstone say to you? Well, you know that I'm sorry, but I will have tears in my eyes. That I left toward better.
Can you repeat that, please?
That I left the world a better place.
Yes, what amazing. Amazing. Magdalena, thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.